I would welcome legal immigration to this country and to our state. This is a nation of immigrants. But folks, without the rule of law, we have no nation. So we must all live by a moral code and a high standard of individual liberty so we can have a free nation.
All right, Clay Clark, I think it's if elected, but I'll read it as it's written. What is your first on your agenda?
First thing is infrastructure. Police, fire, roads, and bridges. Can I get an amen from the congregation? Come on now. Can we fix those roads? Ladies and gentlemen, our number one tourist attraction right now is incredible, bad off-roading type of activities here, folks. Our roads are our worst thing, but we're attracting some off-roaders here to come and visit us for tourism reasons. So we need to make them really, really bad so we can have incredible tourism for the off-roading industry, or we need to make them really, really good. But seriously, we need to focus on that. Police, fire, roads, and bridges. That's what we're going to focus on.
Mr. Brumbaugh, what is first on your agenda?
Well, first on my agenda is getting the tax structure set up where we have a fair or flat tax. We need that in this country. You know, I said at the last Tea Party, we would be good to look back at Joseph in Genesis, who gave 20% of everything, asked for 20% of all the seeds he gave the Egyptians, and he gave them the opportunity to keep 80%. You know, we live in a country now that is spending at unprecedented levels. That would be the first thing that I would do is institute or try to institute a fair or flat tax.
All right, Mr. Brogdon, what can we do to prevent such senseless acts like the one with the judge and the DA pulled in McAllister, which let the man get away with child rape? They both should be removed along with Governor Henry and Mr. Edmondson.
I've actually been studying that case this week, and it's a horrible situation what happened in McAllister. And as not even looking at this as a legislator, but looking at this as a dad, you know, I was having a hard time trying to figure out how in the world a child rapist only got 1 year with 19 years suspended. Well, as a senator, I started looking at this legislatively, and I wanted to find out exactly what loophole did this David Earls jump through. I mean, and here's what I found out just this week. He was not charged with child rape. He was charged with first-degree rape. First-degree rape has a lesser penalty than child rape. The state legislature has put a very serious penalty for child rape, and it's 25 years to life. But the problem was there was not, and this is what I've gleaned from, you know, I'm not an attorney and I haven't studied the issue other than, in fact, read the court documents. What I have found this week, there was no DNA evidence. There was obvious evidence that the little girl had been raped, but it was not tied directly to David Earls. This guy's a two-time loser. It's been reported today that he even raped I think this little girl's aunt or niece or something. She's like 40 years old today. So the problem with this particular issue was there was not enough evidence. Had they not charged him with a lesser crime, he could have actually walked. So, you know, it's a horrible situation. So I'm looking at this legislatively to see what we can tie up any loopholes where this man hopefully would never happen again.
Question for Clay Clark. What special projects do you have planned?
Deportation of illegal immigrants. I did a little research, went out to the firehouse on a Sunday, spent the Sunday having lunch with the firefighters. I got a chance to spend some time with some local police officers and I have a ride-along schedule. And this is just their opinion, and what do they know? They're just the firefighters and police officers. They indicated that a little over a third, somewhere between a quarter and a third of all their accident wrecks they're running into right now involve an illegal immigrant. That's the 31st and Garnett firefighters. Told me a third. Now, I'm not a firefighter, so I can't verify that. That's just what they told me. I can also tell you, my friends at Iron back there, Iron, how you doing? What's up? Okay, there's 30,000 illegal immigrants in Tulsa. It's almost like we've got Beggs, Oklahoma in here a few times mixed in. But because they're not actually documented, we don't have police for them. So we have high crime. We'd have high crime against any nationality if they weren't policed at all. So you have 30,000 undocumented people here. They're putting a huge toll on our health system, on our hospitals. They're not getting charged. They go to the emergency room. This is according to the firefighters. They said they have a heart problem. When they have a heart problem, they get treated to the front of the line. When they go to the front of the line, what happens then is that they get between $3,000 and $10,000 of tests done. EKGs, MRIs, all sorts of fun stuff. And who pays for it? You do. So, ladies and gentlemen, in order to keep you paying for it, to keep me from paying for it, I plan on deporting them. And as long as it doesn't cost $3,000 an illegal alien or more, I think we can afford it. Thank you.
Mr. Brumbaugh, same question. What special projects do you have planned?
Obviously, immigration, I can validate what my colleague has said here. We have 13 million illegal aliens in this country, 700,000 a year. Do you know that 3 out of every 100 Americans are undocumented? And the liberals will tell you, they will say, hey, listen, they're doing the jobs no one else will do. Well, if you really look at that underclass, you're talking about 30 to 40% unemployment in that class. They've lowered the standard of living in this country, and we need to do more than just rounding them up. We need to cut off the food supply, folks. If you've got a varmint in your house, what do? You cut off the food supply. Yes, we can put fences up, and I agree with that. Let's put a strong border fence up, but we also need ICE out there rounding up all these illegal aliens. We need workforce protection acts, and we need enforcement where employers will go to jail if they hire illegal aliens. But the main thing is we have to stop all the government entitlements. Folks, if you were in this country and you come from south of the border and you have 25% of the gross domestic product of the United States, and you're going to get free medical, like my colleague says here, you get free education, you get subsidized housing, what's your incentive to leave? Folks, we need to cut off all the government entitlements, and we need to stop all these illegal aliens in our country, because let me tell you something. You know, they say they're doing the jobs that no one else will do. Well, here's the cost to you and you folks, the taxpayers in this country. You pay $70 billion for illegal aliens. Guess how much tax revenue they generate? $25 billion. Who's picking up the other $45 billion, ladies and gentlemen? You are. Ask California if they're happy about it. They've got 10 times the sales and tax revenues than immigrants are generating. Ask about guest worker programs. Ask France and Germany why they have a permanent underclass in crime now and why they've stopped it. Folks, we've got to get serious about immigration reform in this country. It is undermining our national security, it is undercutting our economy, and it's destroying our children's future.
Mr. Brogdon, as governor, how would you influence the federal government to reduce taxes and promote fiscal responsibility?
You know, this is something I have actually thought about for the last year or so, trying to figure out exactly what can a governor do. Well, let me tell you what a governor can do. And I will relay this to a story of what a state senator has done. 2 years ago, I authored legislation for us to opt out of the Real ID Act. Some of you probably remember that battle. The Real ID Act was an unconstitutional federal mandate that violated the 1st, the 4th, the 9th, and the 10th Amendment, and that was not okay with me. So I wrote legislation and said we will not participate as a state in the Real ID. Now, after that time, the bill passed overwhelmingly. The governor even signed the bill. I'm not sure he knew what he was signing, but he signed it. And after that, we were threatened as a state. I was personally threatened that I was going to destroy vacation time. You couldn't go see Grandma and Grandpa next summer. But let me tell you, one idea, one person, someone willing to stand up on the side of righteousness, on the right thing to do, can make a difference. Folks, I am a